In this video, I want to take a look at a game which I played against the same opponent whom I've beaten 11 games in a row. We haven't played recently, so I'm still hoping for the 20 games in a row double adoption. And here my opponent played this Reversed Chigorin, which I don't really know the theory because it's such a rare opening. But it can transpose into a Jobava London system or a Veresov attack. But there's only around 1,500 games in the database from this position, I believe. And the reason this opening is so rare is because in Queen's Pawn openings you want to play c4 with the white pieces, and with black you want to play either c6 or c5. Now, I did find this gambit called the Irish Gambit, so I may play it if I ever get a chance. Again, this opening is not really played that often, so... And here my opponent just played what I think is just a bad move, because you're blocking in the bishop, and, well, if you can't break with c4, then you're going to have to break with e4 at some point if you want to have any advantage. So for that reason, I think that this is just a bad move, and I guess the engine agrees because apparently black has already equalized and we're on move 3, so that's definitely saying something. Bishop g4 is a novelty, which means it's not a very good move, but I don't really care because, well, I don't think that I'm magically gonna lose the game just for playing this move. Objectively, the best move is probably e6, e2, just breaking the pin on the knight. And after e6, bishop e5 check, which violates the principle that you should not move the same piece twice in the opening. And, well, for that reason, the engine's already like black. a3, which I think it's a terrible move. It does absolutely nothing. I don't even have a threat to put the knight on b4, and even if I did, what am I attacking? It's not like I have a bishop on f5 to put pressure on c2. So I think much better was just to castle. And here I played the move I just said you shouldn't play, which is move the same piece twice in the opening. But I do have a reason to do that. One is chess related, the other is more, well, my opponent might fall for a trap and I could end up winning a piece if he's not careful. Now, objectively, again, this is not the best move against someone closer to my playing strength. I probably would have played something like bishop d6 or rook c8. But the point here is if knight takes, if you take here, you have to take here first. But again, if my opponent doesn't see that and play something like h3, well, now I'm just winning a piece. 25 check, and let's see, bishop d2. I take on b5, and if you take, well, I just take on f3. So there is some danger here, but if you take on c6, again we have this move h3, and if you take, well, now the black king is going to have to castle queenside, which means if rook b8, queen b6, putting pressure on b2, that's going to be a lot of fun. And, well, it's not so easy how to really attack the black king, even though it's in the center. If you open up the position, Well, how are you gonna do that? If you push, then I just take, and if you take the pawn, I could even trade queens. If I ever felt like I was in some type of danger. So queen a5 again, with the obvious threat of taking and winning the bishop. My opponent played a queen here, queen e1, which I don't think is very good. Again, taking on c6 is probably the best. And well, here h3, bishop h5 instead of taking. And well, if you have to play g4 now, this king is very exposed. After something like this, which is apparently the best move, because well, you obviously can't try to save the bishop because you have this check and you lose the rook. So rook c8, and now you take. In this position, I mean visually it looks very attractive for black, at least against someone who is much weaker than I am. But interestingly, the engines think that the position is pretty much equal, which I find very surprising. But it does make some sense, because if you go king h1, rook g1, you are putting pressure. So it's like, well, is white attacking black? And well, here my opponent took the knight. The engines say you can even take on c5, which looks pretty interesting, because here you can't save the knight. If you move the knight, you obviously lose the queen. And you can take here with the bishop. There is no fork because you just take, and well, you can't recapture because of this pin. And after bishop here, you go back, and well, it's hard to evaluate, but apparently black is just better. And well, here I just took advantage of the open file, and when I took on c3, I saw this move, bishop d2, and I thought, well, I just go c4 and I should be fine, because basically I have a good bishop against a bad bishop. The bishop is blocked in by pretty much all of these pawns, and my bishop is pretty much free to go to d6 and attack along these two diagonals. So everything else being equal, black should be better. And here my opponent played a4, which I think is not a very good move, but the engines for some reason like the move. They think it's like the third best move. I'm not sure why, but it's not like I have a threat of taking the pawn. If I take, well, I just lose the bishop. So I think a4 is just not a very good move, just from a practical point of view. And now I castled king h1, which has the obvious idea of putting pressure down the g file, which makes sense because, well, I've done that to this opponent and won many games using this idea, so I guess he's using my own ideas against me. And now queen h5, the obvious threat of checkmate. e5. The engines say you have to play f4 because, well, there was also the threat of queen f3 check. Here I played bishop c7. More accurately is queen f3 check. But this kind of transposes into the game, so here I played f6. Again, queen f3 check is slightly better. And now my opponent just blundered. Queen check, and I just win the bishop, and that's pretty much game over. So, attacking the g-pawn, I pretty much pinned the rook h3, which doesn't make any sense. But, well, even after rook e1, I mean, just look at the evaluation. Here I could have taken on h3 immediately. And yeah, here I played bishop takes. Apparently I missed forced mate in like 11 moves after rook f5. The point is just put more pressure on the rook, I guess. And if you stop that with h4, you go rook h5. Check. King f1 forced. And after rook f8 is like forced checkmate in like 8 moves or something. But pretty much everything is winning. And here again, I missed forced mate with check, and then rook here, and I believe you take first, and then queen takes, and then queen check, and then you win the rook. Yeah, so here I just didn't bother with that. I just thought, well, I just pretty much win everything. And here my opponent resigned because I'm up so much material. Anyway, if you like the video, do hit the like button, and don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.